Hey Jeff, this is a video overview of the sales in my pipe drive. I did follow up with Carla from the Child Cancer Fund last week, and she hasn't actually returned my call, but the last time I had her on the phone, she was like, I was sick, I'm busy, I'm catching up, but I will present it in front of the board. So I don't have any details really for sure on that. So I'll follow up again this week in a non-obtrusive way. The last message I sent her was like, I'm not bugging you, I promise. So we'll see how that goes. As far as Waste Watchers, this is actually the last time I contacted him. Um, he was like, oh yeah, I haven't looked at that yet. I was like, well, take a look, I'm here, let me know. He was like, okay, yeah, I'll get back to you. So that was the last kind of there. I'm not like putting any eggs in baskets on this guy, but it was just interesting. His intonation and like demeanor, overall was a lot more positive than the first time I spoke with him. So I think he was impressed by the proposal that he didn't quite look at. So that's actually, I feel a lot better about that than when I did the proposal. So good stuff there. I will follow up again this week just to kind of touch him, probably via email, and I'll let you know on that. For access control, I sent the updated proposal on Monday. Today is probably the perfect day to follow up, so I'm following up today on that. And I've scheduled it for after I finish this video. The new one I added in here is the cca-ca.org full site. Dom is like, has an idea in mind, like going forward. So he was like, hey, can we look at like comps of like what the user site is? I was like, let me get you the quote for the full site, and then we can go ahead and get started getting getting the comps for like certain sides of the site. So I think once I've scheduled a meeting with him early next week to just go through and really get the full scope, understand exactly what he wants the site to be, and then I think we give him the proposal and then we can move forward. I think he's going to go with us either way, but I want to make sure that I have the right scope on it and that we have the right bid on it and everybody's agreed upon everything. There's no, it's in the right order. So that's new and coming. Just needs to be defined, and then we'll send him the proposal, and then we can get started on the comps for the. What he'd like to see first is the kind of what the user portal would look like, kind of idea. And then the last one, which is the new guy that I just added yesterday. Florida Express Environmental is kind of a local family owned and operated waste management service. So, interesting enough, I am one of their customers. So, I looked on their portal to pay my bill. And this was the website that I got to actually like on mobile, and it's not mobile optimized. So I was like, this sucks. I hate everything about this. And then, none of their links to their Facebook are. Oh, this one appears to be working. So they have one Facebook here that's linked. Then their social media. They have these like join us on Facebook things like throughout the site. They're kind of actually all over the place. But none of those go anywhere. So, those might be things that I would call out. But what I'd like to do, because they actually have a pretty decent reputation on Google, more so than their competition. So, like, their competition would be Advanced Disposal, like 1.2. There's Waste Management, which is more of like a national kind of company. I think they already have a better reputation, and if they had a site that made sense for their customers and like really sold their services, so they're doing a lot more than just picking up trash. I think that we could definitely help them. And so that's going to be kind of my approach. Um, and I had my friend do like a little paralegal digging for me. So she found out that it's a your family-owned business. They are local, founded kind of in Ocala. The CEO's name, she gave me his brother's name, and also the CEO, his father was the one who founded it, and he's has since had kids, and the triplets actually have now taken over the company. Um, and so they're working in like human resources and accounts payable. So I'm gonna kind of hit the human resources side of it first as like my entry point, and just kind of let them know. So I've got names for all of those people. Um, there's also some information on like the purchasing agent. She gave me a lot of really good stuff. So I'm kind of building the profile, and I'm like making a list of like things that I know we can do to help them. And oddly enough, like talking to Michael yesterday, I was like, "Hey, look at this thing. I think I'm gonna like do a cold call and just see what comes of it." He said that his wife was actually on the team that launched this site for Advanced Disposal, which is like one of their competitors. And these were I think one, this site's great, and it's just like a really good example of like what we could do and maybe do better. Um, Interesting enough, this site cost them $40,000. That was their investment. So I would like for you to kind of like look at this and tell me like one why, and then maybe we could really come up with like a nice proposal that includes all of the things that they would need in order to expand, because it looks like um, that they are, there you go, serving Alachua, Marion, Citrus, Lake, Levy, and Sumter counties. And that's a 6 county area, and I'm sure they have like operations in those areas. They're not like driving trucks across 3 counties just to like service them. Um, so I think that there's probably something that we could do. Definitely with this like log into your account portal thing. It's here, put this down. It's a secure site. Soft pack. It's interesting. I mean, we could, build a skin for this, right? So that it looks like whatever the design of the existing website is. So they're not like, I'm going to a new site. I mean, just like this low resolution logo, it's not, that shouldn't be there. And again, this is Advanced Disposal, $40,000 investment. And I think that we could help, them be to this caliber for, not that much. So I don't know. I just wanted feedback overall on what you thought about this project. I think it's definitely like worth the time, just to kind of see. Um, and the things I was going to show him actually were floaters, bakers, kind of talk about the different elements of this site and things that we could do for them too. So let me know. Thanks. Bye. Oh, forgot online marketing deals. I did connect with Sally yesterday. She's going to give me a date by Friday for us to meet next week. So I'm going to kind of arrange that meeting. I definitely think it's like they need a campaign overall to like one, nurture leads, but also to nurture their database in general. And like that's made up of like a variety of different contact types, from like customers from like 7 years ago, which statistically for their industry, that would mean you need to touch them again because they're looking to probably like repurchase. Um, so I think overall we could come up with something really solid for them. But it's a matter of like figuring out what their needs are. And so Sally's, I recommended like sitting down with you and Jared and like really talking through them this process. So we should have some movement on that, which is exciting. So as soon as I get the date, I'll put the meeting arranged and then give you guys the details. Oh, as far as strategic partners, I did connect with Sally. She wants a quote for a Wix site, but I told her like I really need the scope, so like tell me what's going on with it. And she hasn't gotten back to me, so I'm just gonna kind of like touch her one more time, be like, hey, just a reminder, give me the scope on what the Wix site's gonna include. I kind of know right now what Yum Yum looks like, so I could probably go ahead and get some numbers. Um, but I think one, she's already billed out for Yum Yum, so I don't know how much help we'll be able to give her, but it would be a good estimate for when she bids out projects in the future. And then I have to connect with my AT retail lady this week. I did connect her with Dom, um, and they were like both mutually very grateful for me being like, oh, hey, let me connect these relationships. So overall, I think that's positive, and I believe she's probably going to be helping him overall with like his product in partnership with us. So moving on the CCA or Cannabis Compliance Commission to like a real entity. So that's going to be stellar. And she's also helping, I think, his customers. So with their individual projects. So I'm connecting with her to be like, hey, let me take the web design stuff and the online marketing stuff off your hands. So that'll be this week. I'm still trying to narrow that down. I'm hoping first thing tomorrow. I'm just going to kind of give her a call because we've been a little bit of back and forth. And then Larry, I showed him the GSO site because he is actually one of the like lead marketing guys who launched this site, which is well, not this site, but this hospital. He was the head marketing guy. So Ocala Health, he went with them through the rebranding. Like, what do we call um, it? And so like in that, I was like, let me go look at his project since we're kind of focusing on the niches. And I was like, oh, this is, this site's not terrible. Like, it's okay. Scrolling down the bottom, I was like, who did this? I was like, oh, copyrights of what? What's this organization? So then I clicked onto this organization, um, and I was like, this is strange. This is basically a like a bigger operation that opens up hospitals across the United States. Um, and so they like create a model and then they just do it all over the place. So looking through here, I kind of was like, okay, locations. Where else do they have hospitals? And of course, I did the Florida because I care about the locations that they have in the area. And so they were in charge of like a few hospitals in Jacksonville. So then when I clicked on the Jacksonville, I was like, well, what does their website look like? It's the same exact website. And I was like, oh, so they're like templating this. It's like a bigger thing. Um, and so I think, I don't know like what, I've never seen really this model. I mean, I've kind of seen this model in like other types of industries, but I'm not sure like what that means for us when targeting other hospitals. Um, if like they're already handling this like templated thing for their hospitals. So, I mean, go check this out. It's the Health HCA Healthcare, um, operating out of Tennessee. And just kind of see what you think that means. Like, are we targeting hospitals that are like not in their network, or if they are in their network, is that cool, or will they need, like their own sites? Citrus Memorial is the hospital that is in my area. So I don't know. Those are just things that I had found. Again, same site. They just like matched the branding. And then like updated this and like think their blogs look like they're the same blogs kind of across the board. Um, HC West. It's interesting. So, let me know what your thoughts are there. Okay,